A. B.
Involved with Great Uncle Bulgaria. They were of a similar age, weren't they? Madame Cholet was.
C.
I don't think. I don't know.
D.
But she was still sufficiently young to still remember she was a womble.
She did remember.
Yeah. I think
E.
it's probably quite a useful benchmark if you can't remember that you're a womble. You're not going to be a lot of use.
We have to choose a kind of jumping off point from Ed Sheeran to start the next ep with, don't we? He is, I mean,
G.
He likes football, doesn't he?
Does he?
I mean, together, but yeah.
Does he?
Yeah. He's always at Ipswich Town matches.
Okay. Famously has a stupid little guitar. I've always wondered why he has such a small guitar.
H.
Sure, he isn't just
How big was your Raffia guitar strap?
Oh, I think
I mean, to be honest, you can't get far with Raffia in a fortnight.
E.
It would have
I.
taken far too long.
Why don't you just make a belt?
I don't know. I don't want to genuinely.
I think those tiny guitars are for buskers.
J.
Electronics inside, and they make a much bigger noise.
So he's kind of honouring his.
K.
Yeah.
Also, you can get them in the overhead bins on
There's a lot
an aeroplane.
L.
Canadians use those same sort of very small guitars. They almost look like a ukulele, but they're not.
Do you think I could have made a Raffia truss?
I think you could. I'm not sure it would have done the trick, and it certainly would have been not as good as the Cluth truss and
Well, it would have
automatic
chafed,
massager.
it would chafe.
It would chafe. It would definitely chafe Raffia.
Well, there we are. So, should we start? I think
N.
I am starting. Next step. Should I start at Ipswich Town?
Is that his team? Is that Ed's team?
That's his team, yeah.
Well, we might as well start there then.
Well, that's it then. Thank you very much to Stephen Punt,
Thank you.
compadre, and Mark Billiam, best-selling crime author, who has delighted us with his
Trust-based
trust-based routine. Yeah,
And
P.
yeah. So we will see you next time.
Route Masters is written and presented by Hugh Dennis and Steve Hunt. The guest was Mark Billingham and the producer was Victoria
Q.
Lund. It was a listen production for BBC Radio 4. Celebrating Jane Austen on Radio 4.
R.
The very first page, it's like, yeah, I'm in good hands here.
It's absolutely true that Pride and Prejudice is where rom-coms come from.
Programs exploring her life, legacy, and literary brilliance.
I'm still trying to find what was the secret to her fearlessness.
And new adaptations of her classic novels.
Allow me to show you the way.
Thank you, Mr. Darcy, but it is a very big house. I can see it all by myself.
A week marking 250 years of Jane Austen.
This week on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds.
We'll remember one of Banksy's best-known works in witness history in a couple of minutes.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. A British-born rabbi has been confirmed to be among those killed in a shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney. The family of Eli Schlanger, who was 41, told the BBC he was a warm, outgoing person who loved to help people. Two gunmen targeted a event on the beach, killing 11 people and injuring 29 others. One of the suspects is dead, while the other is critically injured. Sir Keir Starmer has described the attack as sickening. Alexander Downer is a former Australian foreign minister.
I think the whole country will be absolutely devastated. This is a multicultural country with a very liberal culture, which has been free of violence for most of its modern history.
A 25-year-old woman has died and a man in his 60s is in critical condition after a house fire in Hampshire. Emergency crews were called to a property in Tottenham in Loveside. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has announced plans to set up specialist sexual offence investigation teams for every police force in England and Wales. It's part of a long-delayed plan aimed at halving violence against women and girls within a decade. Ms. Mahmood said the move would help ensure rapists had nowhere to hide.
W.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that while he wants his country to join NATO, he accepts that it might not be possible. The move would mark a shift in Kyiv's negotiating position on ending the war with Russia. The Ukrainian leader is in Berlin for talks with US officials as well as the German Chancellor. In football, Sunderland have beaten Newcastle 1-0 in the first tie-wire derby in the Premier League for almost a decade. Elsewhere, there were wins for Manchester City, Nottingham Forest,
why?
and Aston Villa. BBC News.
The Patches random postcode generator sends us to the Scottish Highlands. Remote, beautiful, but the number of children has been in decline.
Z.
What does that mean? We'll find out in the patch in 10 minutes. That's after Witness History with Rena Stanton Sharma, and we're going back 10 years to when one of the most famous artists in the world transformed a derelict outdoor swimming pool into what was billed as the UK's most disappointing new attraction.
Welcome to Dismaland. Enjoy.
Please have that bit of the ticket ready to be scanned.
Every day, 4,000 came with tickets booked online. 500 more queued in all weathers.
Number 2.
Cover admission. A lady last week flew in from Japan. She spent over 12 hours on her flight, landed at Heathrow, then got a taxi from Heathrow down to here, which cost her several £100s. She queued in a rain for 6 hours, got absolutely drenched, went into the site for 2 hours,
Number 3.
got a taxi back, flew home and said it was the best experience she'd ever had.
That experience was Banksy's Dismaland, the street artist's satirical take on the amusement park. It was built on the dilapidated site of Weston-super-Mare's Tropicana Lido, which enjoyed its heyday back in the 60s and was left to fall into disrepair when it closed in 2000. As a child, Banksy is said to have visited the seaside town in the west of England. He's best known for his spray-painted stenciled designs on the sides of buildings.
Once in a lifetime, isn't it? Yeah.
Number 5.
Look. There hasn't been anything for like ages. It's the Tropicana, like they're finally doing something with it. We're really, really excited.
It was a bit surreal. Not even that I was a part of it, but for a month and a bit, the eyes of the world were on Weston-super-Mare, the tiny seaside town which doesn't have the best reputation. Being able to work at Dismaland was a big honour, really, a life-changing opportunity. Just to do something different I never thought I'd be able to do.
Number 7.
I always think fondly of my time there and the fun I had.
That's Curtis Young, who was 21 when he unknowingly signed up to become a steward, believing that he was going to be an extra in a movie. Dismaland was constructed
Number 9.
and locals were led to believe it was a film set for a Hollywood thriller. When Curtis was finally told that he wasn't going to be starring in a movie, he had to sign an NDA, ensuring the elusive artist's secret project didn't get out. After 3 days of training and acting lessons on staying miserable, his job was to provide a human experience to visitors as a parody on consumer culture.
Smiling,
Too
friendly was a sackable offence at Dismaland.
D.
Being too friendly,
E.
unfortunately let go.
F.
Time, smelling the sea air, smell of candy floss,
G.
looking around this derelict pool, the Tropicana, and what they had done to
H.
installations, many of them making you think, really. At the time, the horse meat scandal was going on, and they had a carousel with a little horse hanging from the top with a butcher in front of it. An installation that's still very relevant today. The refugee boats behind the backdrop of the White Cliffs of Dover.
J.
Little remote control boats. You can either control the refugee boats or the
K.
But yeah, even today it's still very culturally relevant to what's happening in our country and the wider world. Every piece was made in a way to make you think that you step back. It is beautiful art, but it's also got a message to it. If you stand there and look at it and really think about it.
And installations on climate change, war and surveillance did get people thinking. Tickets cost just £3, that's about $4, and fans scrambled to buy them, crashing the website in the process. Touts even seized the opportunity to make some quick cash, selling tickets for as much as £600 a pair, according to news reports.
Q.
And Hollywood A-listers even wanted to find out what all the fuss was about.
They also had Brad Pitt come on down,
R
special showing. They closed the park specifically for him. Neil Patrick Harris as well. So yeah, it really did interest a lot of people.
And do you have any mementos from your experience?
The Dismal stewards were dressed in a pink high-vis vest with Dismal on the back and a pair of metal Mickey Mouse style ears made of 2 paint cans. So I was fortunate enough to take some of them home, although I shouldn't have really, but I was told just go for it anyway.
I wonder how much they'd be worth now.
Yeah, they're worth quite a lot of money.
Stewards like Curtis were dotted around Dismalland, and one of the jobs was to carry out security checks.
Greeted by this airport security style art installation where you're patted down, basically you're shouted at, you're asked if you've got anything you shouldn't have on you. It was black and white cardboard. It's very jarring because it's the first thing you walk into. It's clinical I really wanted to have a go at that one because of the way I looked at the time. I had my long hair, I'm a smaller man. I was told by the organisers that I didn't really fit what they were looking for. I wasn't intimidating enough to be an airport security guard. The funny thing is, a couple of years after, I was an airport security guard.
Why?
5 years.
Over the 5 weeks it was open, Curtis would get up to mischief, children's sandcastles, cheating at fairground games, and generally causing chaos.
Number 1!
This was how a reporter described the dystopian attraction.
This is Dismal Bemusement Park. It looks dilapidated and it's very thought-provoking. So a slightly dark
Number 3!
cell, and as you walk around there are images everywhere, sculptures, pieces of artwork. This is one of the 10 Banksies.
Number 4!
Site. A woman covered in seagulls fighting them off, with one just looking at her from the top of the bench.
Number 5!
Other artists also displayed subversive and controversial works. Installations included a fire-ravaged castle, a riot police van half submerged in a lake, and Cinderella's pumpkin.
Inside the castle, it was a play on the Princess Diana incident, with Cinderella's carriage having crashed and Cinderella just hanging over the door of the carriage, and in front of her were just a number of paparazzi taking pictures.
Number 9!
The installation itself was like flash. So yeah, it was just a play on the Diana incident, and I think that was just one of the examples of how you're like, yeah, this is impressive, this is a really good piece of art, but then when you sit back and think and join the dots together, basically, it really does make you think about the world we live in.
Here are some of the 150,000 people who managed to secure a coveted ticket.
It was rather offset by the 3.5 hour wait in the queue. And I ran out of time, so I only had half an hour. But no, I enjoyed it. There's some really odd things going on in there.
It's just nice to go somewhere you have to think about things and put the clues together. So yeah, and it's obviously taken a huge amount of hours of work. Some of the detail in there is just incredible. And how they did it all under the cover was just amazing. It's kind of like not what you expect at all.